Hi, my name's Laura Glewis. I'm an ERP advisor here at Striven. Over the next few videos, I'm going to walk you through project management. In this video, we'll cover project management, specifically managing projects. This will include project creation, milestone creation, assignments and labels, project boards, and the Gantt chart. So let's get started learning more about Striven. So from my dashboard, now we're going to go create a new project. So I have two options. One is I can click into projects and go that route from the list. Or two is I can go to the quick add and click directly to project. I'm going to click the project list and click add. Let's create a new IT project. We'll name this one Betty's IT project. From here I can select my customer, Betty's Bakery, and select my contact, Betty Billingsley. My account manager is already chosen for me because of the project type, but I can change it here if I choose. I'm going to click create. And now you can see it's brought me to my project screen. Striven will remember which view you're looking at, whether it's the Gantt chart, such as this, the project board, or the milestones view, depending on when you last logged in. Here, I can change my status of my project to in progress, done, canceled, or on hold. If I needed to copy a project, I can go to the Actions menu and copy directly from here. This will also allow me to copy any milestones, assignments, custom statuses, tasks, and labels created within the project. If I needed to add a status note of how this particular project is going, I can add it here and click the email button to send a notification to my contact, as well as the account manager for this project. I can also add any other recipients I choose in here. My subject is changeable if I so choose, as well as the body of the email. You can see that it's linked directly to Betty's IT project and whatever the current status is. By clicking the link here, as the contact, I can be taken directly to the partner portal to view this particular project. If I choose to send, this will send to anyone that I have selected here in the recipients line. In this case, since we're just starting, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Besides setting the status note, we can also change our priority to emergency or any of the other priorities we have selectable for projects. We can adjust our contact, our account manager, and divisions that they go to. Although these are already set up, I would just need to type in, say if I wanted accounting as another division in here. If I make a mistake, I can always remove it. My start date is already filled in depending on when I started this particular project, but it does require my end date because that's what we've chosen to require. So in this case, I'll say that since this is an emergency, it needs to be done by Tuesday. I can add in my estimated budget here, as well as the number of budget hours this project might take. I can also type in a description of my objective here and put any internal notes in here. Because they're internal notes, they won't be seen by the customer. You can see, here's my additional info section and my custom field that we put in earlier called Is This Problem on a Desktop? And if I click it, you can see that it pops up with my radio button choices. The little red asterisk in here means that this field is required. So let's say yes and update our info. I also have the ability to mark this project on target or off target. I'm going to leave it as in progress. Now we'll move on to the account assignments. Since I already have an account manager, let's add in a project manager. Here I can click Add Assignment and choose my category and pick who I want it assigned to. Let's assign this one to me and change it to primary and visible in the portal. The little blue globe means that it's visible on the partner portal. Unlike some other options, if you click it here, it doesn't change the option. You'd have to go into Edit and remove the visibility on the portal and resave. If I needed to remove anyone, then I could remove the project manager here by clicking the delete button. Next up is milestones. Since we don't have any, let's go ahead and create some. Milestones can be used to mark different dates or specific phases of a project. Since this is an emergency project, let's say that this has to do with clearing the desktop. And let's put a start date and end date of Monday. You can leave me as the person responsible, or we can change it. Let's say for this one I wanted to use Cindy. My status is always going to be pending until I choose to click it into a new status. I can do that by using the project board, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Here, I could type in my notes and see what they look like, or I could use the advanced editor if I needed a little bit more flexibility as to what I can add to this description or notes. I can also choose to make them visible in the portal. Now you can see we have a due date of September 23rd, as well as who the person assigned is to this particular milestone, and the milestone name. If I click this, I can also make this particular milestone visible on the portal. With my options here, I can edit, copy, mark as done, mark as canceled, add in any notes, or message directly to other people within the project. Now let's take a look at labels. By clicking the Add Label button, I can enter in a description for my label. Let's choose HP. After I click the Save button, I can either make it visible on the portal, or I can click the three dots to give me an Edit, Delete, or Archive option. Archive means that the project will save the label for a later date if you choose to use it again. If you choose to delete it, it will be removed from the project completely. By editing, I have the option to pick a different label color, and I have tons of options to choose from on this color palette. Once I click away from it, it's changed the color to the new one. Now I can click Save again. I'll also create one called Dell. Now let's go ahead and archive this one. Normally, I would be able to drag my task to the label. However, since I don't have any tasks, let's go ahead and create some. By clicking the button here, this will allow me to add a task connected directly to the Clearing the Desktop milestone. If I click into this one down here, it connects it to the Tasks Not Related to milestone, which is a generic and cannot be removed from any projects. Let's call this one Run Virus Scan. By hitting Enter, I've now created the task. By selecting the task, you can see that there's no start date or due date involved, and there's no budget. So let's go ahead and add some. Let's choose our start date for today and our due date for the 27th. I'm going to add a budget of 4 hours into this task. By clicking this button, you can mark it as private if you don't want anyone to be able to view this particular task. The completed percentage bar here shows how far along this particular task is and is an estimate only. By scrolling down, you can see that this task has already inherited the customer, the location, as well as the project and milestone, since we created it under this milestone. From here, I can choose the requested by, as well as an order if it's tied to it. Further down, I can reassign this project by clicking the Reassign button here, or I can add in another assignee, such as Cindy, so that we'll both be attached to this particular task. As we scroll down, I can add in any customer assets in this box. The next box gives me a task description. If I needed to edit this particular description, I can change it here by opening the Advanced Editor. This gives me options such as bold, italics, underline, changing the font color, changing the background color of the font, changing the format or heading, clearing my formatting, changing the font, as well as the size of the font, and a host of other options. If you don't see something here at the top of your menu bar, click the three dots to show more menus vertically. I'm going to save this description. As I scroll down a little further, you'll see a task note. This one will log whoever has entered the note and what time they've entered the note, as well as the day. So in this case, I could say I ran the virus scan. Once I click Enter, you'll see it's been entered by you on 9/25 at 11:40 a.m. This is a running log and cannot be deleted or edited. Now let's show you how to add a label to a task by dragging the task itself to the label. You can see I have HP on here now, and that this is an active label. If I click Show Archive, you'll see that Dell label that we had in the background that we chose to archive earlier. Now I can drag it to this one, and you'll see that it allows the label to be attached to the task itself, even though it's archived. If I were to delete this, you'll see that the label goes away. Now let's take a look at the project board. By choosing Switch View option, I have an option to view the Milestones view, the project board, or the Gantt chart. In this case, let's view the project board. You can see that this one already has some custom statuses set up. Let's go ahead and customize our board. In this case, I can put in a new status, such as on target, and change my color options with that color palette from before with our labels. Let's pick a light blue. Once I hit enter, you'll see that the on target status has now been moved into the open side of our custom status bar. From here, I can drag and drop depending on which priority I want this one to be. I can also have my default status be either on target, in progress, or on hold on the open side, as well as finished or any other done statuses that I have on the done side of our custom project board. I'm going to click close. From here, I can drag and drop the task as I need to, and you'll see the custom status over here change as I do. I can also drag it into the finished section, and you'll see it's flagged me now because there are incomplete checklist items, so I can't move it to done yet. Let's go ahead and complete those items. By clicking on the three dots menu, I can view my checklist. Here, you can see I have two checklist items set up. As I click them off, I'm given the ability to enter in any notes that pertain to the task. So I could just say done at 11:30 and hit save. I could also delete the option from here if I needed to. Given that this is a copy of the other task, I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. Now I can click close, and now I should be able to move my task from on target into our finished bucket without any problems. Now let's take a look at the Gantt chart. In order to see something on the Gantt chart, you do need to have some open tasks. So I'm going to move these back into in progress and on target. Now let's take a look at our Gantt chart. From here, you can see that I don't have a very large view, so I'm going to close the labels and the task options here so that we can see our Gantt chart better. You can see that this task was created on 9/22 and falls within our milestone date. I can drag and drop the task anywhere along our milestone to change the start date and due date as needed, which you'll see reflected here. For this one, I can even move it all the way back from starting on 9/22, and if I needed to stretch it, I can drag and drop this way. Now you can see it needs to be completed by 9/27. If I stretch it beyond the milestone date, I do have the ability to do that, but now it doesn't fall within our milestone date. So as you can see, the Gantt chart is a great way to be able to view all of your tasks within a project, see who's assigned to them at a glance, and also check task priority right at your fingertips. Here's how to add a task directly to a project or milestone from the task creation. You can either create a task from our quick add, or you can go to the task list and create one there. They'll take you to the same place. Let's change ours to support ticket and add a new task, such as install SSD. Once we create it, you can see that our support ticket type already has these headers in the task itself. So let's go ahead and fill them in. Customer, we know, is Betty's Bakery. Location is primary. And our project is going to be Betty's IT project. Now we can select our milestone directly from here, clearing the desktop. Now if we go back and look at that project, we can see that our install SSD is here. And you can also see that it came directly back to the Gantt chart. If I want to change that, all I have to do is click Milestone View or Project Board. Striven will remember which choice you last had. There's our task, related directly to the milestone we chose.